Target is finished. One of the nation's biggest retailers, Target, is finished. That's what a lot of people are saying. We're going to get into that today, folks. A big layoff announcement. We're going to tell you why, what's behind it, and what's ahead. We've got more news about the possible ending of all these food benefits in November. And a lot of people are saying that the food banks, which are already under severe distress right now, may be running empty. So we're going to get into that, folks. A lot of economic, financial news, inflation, the cost of living crisis, everything. Rents, you're going to like today's report. Please make sure you are liking and subscribing this if you like what we talk about here. Make sure you get the latest notifications. Let's go ahead and start right here with Target announcing 1,800 layoffs. This is going to be 8% of its workforce. Wow, it's almost 10% in one swoop. Layoffs. What's happening with Target? Well, there's a lot of different people chiming in on this. Some people say they got rid of their DEI initiatives, and a lot of people protested against that. I said after the health crisis in 2020, with inflation on the rise as bad as it was, that you're going to see a lot of people downsize or transition from shopping at Target to Walmart. And we did see that. We saw a big influx in people shopping at Walmart, less people shopping at Target because Target is more expensive. I haven't shopped at a Target, I think, I can't even remember, maybe at least a year. And from what I hear, that their foot traffic is down. But let's take a look at the actual numbers here. And I've got my notes here. Target has been experiencing declining profits, with net earnings for the second quarter of fiscal year 2025 falling over 21% year over year, folks. That's a big drop. Imagine losing 21% of your household income versus the previous year. That would take a big bite out of your budget, wouldn't it? This profit decline is attributed to various factors, including weak consumer spending, changes in consumer preferences, and the boycott following its retraction of the DEI initiatives. In response, the company has announced corporate job cuts and a change in leadership. Now, let's talk about AI, folks. AI is a big part of this. And what we're seeing from a lot of these companies is not the frontline workers getting laid off. Some of them are, but this is mostly upper management and corporate people. It's not the checkout people. It's not the stockers. It's more difficult to replace a person stocking shelves, and probably impossible, to replace somebody stocking shelves and working the cash register with AI. I mean, they do have the self-checkouts, and technology does, change that up a bit. But it's mostly the analysts, the bookkeepers, the people in the office, because those people working in the office behind a computer screen are more easily replaceable with a computer program, an AI, an algorithm, versus someone actually doing physical labor, right? So the computer monitor people more easily replaced, obviously, with AI than the people actually doing physical labor in the stores, right? So some people say, yeah, that's good, get rid of management. Here's the thing, though. Will Target be the next Kmart? Will Target be going away? That's what a lot of people are saying. Some people are saying good riddance. Their prices are too high. They don't like what they did. People are saying, let them fail. My thing is, if Target goes away, not many options are left as far as having a big retail store. You might have Costco, big box store, though. You have to have a membership. You have Walmart. So are all these people that used to shopping at Target, if Target does fail, are they going to go to Walmart? And then what's going to happen? Walmart's going to say, wow, we have a lot of leverage now. People don't have any place else to shop but Walmart. There's no more Target. And you think they're going to raise their prices? I think that's what businesses do when they know they have leverage. They raise their prices. When there's less competition, they raise their prices, right? Just think about it. The only coffee shop in town versus coffee shops competing with 5 or 6 other ones in the same area, there probably is going to be a little bit of price competition there, right? So pretty interesting. I mean, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Do you shop at Target? Will you miss Target? Does Target deserve this? Or is this just cost cutting and Target's going to continue on their merry way? Let me know what you think. Also, one more thing to note about Target is their stock performance, folks. It's been terrible. With the rise in inflation came a drastically falling price. And I warned everybody here when we first started seeing inflation tick up drastically, 2021, 22, 23, that we're going to see this. Look at this. The peak over the past 5 years is about $250 $60 a share, folks. Now we're down to $94 a share. We warned you here on this channel, look out, because people are going to be moving away from Target and going to Walmart, going to the thrift stores, and it happened. So anyone that held on to that stock against our warning here, I mean, you found out, didn't you? And we're not always right, but sometimes you just have to look at the big picture and see what inflation is going to do and what's going to happen when prices go higher. People are going to downsize or downgrade to a cheaper option. I like the store better. I think the store is cleaner than Walmart. I think the staff is more helpful than Walmart. But when you're more expensive in this inflationary situation, you're going to lose a lot of business just with that. And then all these other things that we mentioned earlier that are adding on top of the pile of problems for Target. All right, people, moving on here. Something else that we've just witnessed is federal workers have finally missed their first full paycheck, and they're already in big trouble. That's right. The federal workers who get paid a lot more on average than the average private sector person. These people missed one paycheck, and they're already lining up at food banks. They're already doing side hustles, and this is called paycheck pain as it's being reported. So the paycheck to paycheck doesn't just stop at the private sector, folks. Even people making six figures plus, a lot of them living paycheck to paycheck, because what do? Do they go out and buy the cheapest house they could qualify for? No, they're like anybody else. They get the biggest house and the most expensive house they can qualify for. They stretch their budget to the limit, to the max, right? Not many people say, oh, I qualified for a $700,000 loan mortgage. Let me go out and find a $350,000 home. Not many people do that. Most people say, well, if I qualify for it, then I must deserve it. And that must be the best thing to do if I qualify for it, because the experts that analyze my credit, they say I can afford it. So that must mean I can afford it. You can afford it today, but can you afford it tomorrow when you miss a paycheck, or next week, or next month? That's what a lot of people, I think most people don't even think about that. They never think about a bump in the road, a cloudy day or a rainy day. They don't think about anything bad happening. They think what's happening today, it's always going to be that way. So let me take out the biggest loan possible, and let me use all of my credit that I was approved for to buy the biggest home possible. That's just the mortgage side of things, but there's lots of other things. Car loans, you name it, trips, vacations, leisure spending, entertainment spending. A lot of people will just spend it thinking that nothing is going to go wrong. But here's a food line right here. If you see my picture right up here, big food lines from furloughed federal workers. And look at this. We have a report here of one of the furloughed workers, an IRS lawyer, went and started a hot dog cart. So looks like he's still dressing like a lawyer, though, working his hot dog cart. Pretty interesting, folks, what people are doing now after just one missed paycheck. What's going to happen if this goes for weeks and weeks and weeks? Now, I get mixed reactions when I ask that question. Some people say this is all going to be worked out before November 1st. They're not going to allow tens of millions of people to go without their food. Some people say that's just too bad. It'll never happen. Maybe you're right. But what if you're not right? What if we see something unprecedented? We've never seen anything like this. If this happens, we've never seen anything like that. Now, just to kind of fill you in on a couple things here, there's already 2 states, from what I've read so far, that have made emergency measures to give their residents food benefits in November. Those 2 states, from what I read, are Louisiana and Virginia. Will more states follow suit? Will they just fill it in with some other form of funding? Or is this going to be one big disaster that's going to change this country for a very long time? Is this going to look like something like the Great Depression, right? Instead of food lines now, or soup lines like they used to call them in the Great Depression, it was these benefits. That was the replacement for the soup lines, right? The cards that people swiped, right? The benefits. The benefits are gone, folks. So now food banks are reporting warning that they may be in big trouble and they may run out of food here. Take a look.
If you want to know how big of a problem hunger is in rural America, spend time at a mobile food bank.
It's 90% of what I consume.
74-year-old Lorna Hall made sure to be the first at this line in Clinton, Missouri.
You've been here since last night.
Yeah.
It's that important to get what you need.
Yes. And I don't keep the car running. I can't afford the gas, so I have sleeping bags to stay warm.
Folks here share.
Camped out since the night before. That's how much of a uptick in traffic that these food banks have seen. And you saw what she said there. She sleeping in her car, and because of gas is so expensive, she doesn't keep the car running, so she shuts it off. She said she had to bring blankets and sleeping bags just to sit in her car. My question is, if you're in line in your car and you fall asleep and the line moves, maybe the food bank's not open, so maybe the line didn't move. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but cars are going to start going around you and you're sleeping. You better set your alarm to wake up before the line starts moving again.
People are struggling. Cost of living has went up. Everything has went higher.
Are you seeing more people coming through these lines?
We used to see maybe 50 to 60 cars. It's doubled, and it's probably going to get worse.
Doubled, folks. The traffic has doubled, and I'm seeing reports all over the place. Doubled, even tripled, quadrupled. Now what's going to happen with these, if and when these benefits expire across the country, it's already doubled and tripled at many of these food banks. How are we going to keep giving out all these freebies to people? I mean, farms are already reporting that they are struggling. We're seeing recalls on eggs and different types of food because of salmonella and other dangers. Folks, when does the food just run out, right? And also, where are the billionaires at, right? I see a lot of people asking people to donate canned goods and things that they don't eat, but where are the billionaires at? When was the last time you read an article about, oh, this billionaire bought $100 million worth of food? If you have billions of dollars, even $100 million wouldn't be a backbreaker for these people. But I haven't seen, maybe some of these people are donating, some of these billionaires, maybe they're donating anonymously and not telling people, but I doubt it. Usually they want to get their name out there if they're actually doing something to help people.
The pain from the government shutdown now well into its fourth week. SNAP benefits for more than 40 million Americans could run out on November 1st. At least one expert is predicting this could potentially trigger the greatest hunger catastrophe in the U.S. since the Great Depression.
Folks, if something doesn't happen, if they don't find a way to still give these people what they need, you heard her. She said the greatest catastrophe
Run out on November 1st. At least one expert is predicting this could potentially trigger the greatest hunger catastrophe in the U.S. since the Great Depression.
Or what if it's worse than the Great Depression? Back in the Great Depression, the 1930s, a lot more people were self-sufficient. A lot more people grew their own food. Pretty much everybody had a farmer or a farm in their neighborhood that they can go and maybe beg for food or buy food or work for food if they didn't have money, maybe trade something, bargain for food. Barter is the right word for food. Now, the farm is the grocery store for most people. And farms have dropped significantly since that time. And that's why a lot of people aren't even buying food that's grown. They're buying packaged stuff, a bunch of pastries and cakes and cupcakes. And take a look at this here. Watch this.
Hey everybody, I am here in Los Angeles County and I'm about to go to the Pomona Valley Food Bank. Now, I live in another part of Los Angeles County, but this is in Los Angeles County. It is worth the drive. This is the 100 pounds of food for $35. So I'm going to show you everything that I get. I'm going to show you the sign and I'm going to leave the address and the contact information in the link in the bio or somewhere in the body of this or maybe on the screen. It just depends. And I want you guys to know that I'm also going to be providing a full list of all the services and a lot of the places that you can go and get food in LA County. So please bear with me. Okay, everybody, I'm
Interesting. I didn't know this existed. I didn't know there was places you could get food but still pay something, right? What did she say? 100 pounds of food for $35? That's a lot of food.
here at the food bank. Let me show you the sign. It's the Pomona Valley Food Bank at 284 Holt Avenue. Okay, everybody, I spent $45 in total. They take food stamps, cash, credit cards, debit cards. Let me show you what I got. I can't show you every.
Look at that junk. Cookies, carrot cake. What's that? Pumpkin pie.
Everything, but pies, croissants.
Croissants.
This one.
Okay, at least there's some eggs in there. There's some yogurt. There's some milk.
Eggs, milk, cottage cheese.
Look at this, more junk. Chips, crackers. Wow.
These were extra. A lot of produce. This one's meat. It's full of
It's a lot of food for $45, folks.
meat. Turkey, all kinds of stuff. These little extras cost me like $10 altogether. But the basic family pack is $35. You get meat, you get produce, you get breads, you get dairy. Okay? They're open Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 4.
All right, she goes on to say if you need help, if you need assistance, she tells where it's at. She tells what the hours are. My thing is, if you're getting food from a place and you tell millions of people online or on social media where it's at, don't you think they might run out of food faster with all these other people showing up there? Maybe she shouldn't be putting that out there because they might run out of food. And then her little secret, her little food bank's going to be empty. And we also have a lot more people out there now talking about, oh, what you should donate, what you shouldn't donate. Take a listen.
If you plan on donating food to a food bank, you should not be donating shit that you don't want just because it is in your cupboards, okay? People need to be actually going out and getting specific things. And I've done some research and I've looked at a few websites and
I disagree. I think you should donate things that you don't want. Why donate food you're going to eat or things you like? So if I have a bunch of sardines that I bought and I don't like them, I tried them, I don't like them, but somebody else may like them, shouldn't I donate them if they're just going to go to waste if I'm not going to eat them? Right? And I love sardines, by the way. I'm just picking up food. I really love sardines. If I have something I don't like and somebody else may like it, people have different taste buds. But all right, let's finish up with what he's saying here.
and just based on like my own common sense and the things that I've researched online, this is what you should be going for. The bullshit canned goods that you don't want to eat and nobody else wants to eat shouldn't be going into consideration.
How do you know nobody else wants to eat it? You don't know what everybody wants or what their tastes are. There's food that I love that my wife doesn't like. And I'm like, how could you not like this? This tastes so good, right? It's a very individual thing. Even music. Isn't it weird that one person can like a song, right? But the same person hearing the same song says that's terrible. I don't like that song. Same thing with food. Some people love something, other people won't like it. It's an individual thing. I get what he's saying though. Let's finish up with him here.
But there are canned goods that are good options. The canned proteins like tuna, salmon, chicken, all of that stuff is really good, but also various types of beans.
Good to him. My wife won't touch sardines, and I love sardines. She won't touch any fish, actually.
And typical vegetables that you would find in like normal meals that are easy, like corn, green beans, etc. Stuff like
Ask most kids, they don't like vegetables.
that. People are going to want those kinds of things because they actually want to eat them. And you have to remember, we're trying to feed kids too. Pasta, rice, quinoa, oatmeal, all of those things, plus boxes of cereal are really, really good. They can keep for a while. They're good for the whole month, that kind of stuff. You also want to be looking to get things that'll be helping them for cooking, like oils, butters, stuff like that, but also consider cases of water, juice, anything that you can get in bulk. These are all really good options. And then, stuff like granola bars, if you see stuff like that, anything that is going to help with an essential meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, should be considered for these food bank options. I know a lot of people struggle. I myself, I'm struggling, but I absolutely plan on trying to do something to help. What's going on next month, I think is disgusting. And if you feel that way as well, I would dig deep and just try to see what you could possibly sacrifice over the next few weeks to try and help these people that are really going to need it.
There you go. That's his opinion, folks. And I would say that he's talking to just people online, social media, just the average person. The average person he's talking to, 7 out of 10 of them, 70%, they're living paycheck to paycheck. So they may not have much extra, or they may be getting rid of their emergency food supply if they do donate. My question again goes back to the beginning of the video. Where's the billionaires? Where's the billionaires? And where's the news saying that so-and-so, pick your billionaire, donated tons of food or bought tons of food to fill up these food banks, or gave it to people individually, or maybe even opened up their own food bank? If you're a millionaire, you don't have to work a regular job, right? You pretty much do what you want to. Couldn't you open up your own food bank, or even a one-day event in a parking lot? I'm not seeing any reports like that, folks. So it's pretty interesting. But he's asking people to donate. Even if you're living paycheck to paycheck, he's asking people to donate. Is that the solution for the paycheck to paycheck people to pick up the slack? Seems like that's where it always comes from, doesn't it? Budget shortfall. Let's raise taxes on people that are working. And where's the go from here, folks? I mean, let me know what you think about all this today. The Target situation, is Target going the way of Kmart? Is it done for them? Or is this just a little blip on the map? The food bank situation, all these people, tens of millions, possibly without benefits in November, and what happens to the food banks that are already stressed and overwhelmed, and have already seen more than a doubling of people showing up there for food. Anyways, hope you're doing good. Stay ahead of the financial curve. Make sure you come back for the next video. Hope to see you then. Keep stacking. Bye for now. Peace.